Hi, I'm Liam Franklin, CEO of Bright and Early.
Hi, I'm Kayla Luis. I'm the marketing manager. I'm Kendall Balmer, and I'm the CFO. I'm Grace Simpson, and I'm the COO.
And we are Bright and Early. I have an unasked but very important question for you. How often do you hit your snooze in the morning? Me personally, I snooze my alarm 3 times every morning, and I'm so tired of waking up late and feeling unenergized. If you feel like you have this issue and wish there was a product that would solve this problem, then worry no more. My team and I are developing a product that physically requires you to get up out of bed to turn off your alarm. To turn off the alarm, you have to get up and turn on your bedroom lights to activate the light sensors, which act as a snooze button. Our product not only wakes you up in the most efficient way possible, but also gives you the burst of energy you need to get your day started off bright and early.
Our customer segment is focused on teenagers that range from the age of 12 to 17 years old, and adults that range from 35 to 50 years old. We believe that this is a really efficient customer segment for our product because the adults are our main buyer to buy the product for the teenagers. We recently sent out a survey to high school students here at Alamo Heights asking how often they snooze their alarm clock. 50% said they always snooze their alarm clock, around 36% said sometimes, and 13% said never. This really helped us figure out the solution to our problem, which would be to eliminate the snooze button. We then asked if this is a product that would be helpful for them. Around 26% and 30% said most definitely it would help them for this product. With the information that we got back from the survey, we concluded that the solution to our alarm clock is really beneficial for teenagers. These are our competitors. The Philips alarm clock is a sunrise alarm clock that activates light in your room through the alarm clock, but it prices from $135 to $200. The Alexa ranges from $25 to $100, and it's only voice activation. The iPhone is a free app on your alarm clock, but the problem with that is that you can snooze it as many times as you'd like. The difference between these competitors and our product is that we require you to physically get out of bed and turn on your lights. Our UVP is that we want to help you wake up in the most efficient and productive way possible to help you fully be prepared for your day.
This is our total addressable market, and the way we got this number is that we took the population of the state of Texas and then our customer segments in their population with the $30 that our product costs to get this number. Our market share percentage, so the 3.55% is the population of our customers and the exposure of our product. And then with that and our revenue of our last TAM and SAM is the $90,000.
Our total cost of goods sold would be around $2.80 for the light sensor that we would put on our alarm clock, and then $7.99 for the external structure, and then around $5 for the battery backup, coming out to $15.79 to build our alarm clock. Our gross profit percentage comes out to 47.4% because our product is priced at $30. And then our projected net income after year one is $133,678.89. And then our MVP plan is to build a basic prototype. We've been talking to some engineers, and they think that our best bet is to take an alarm clock that already exists, take it apart, put our light sensor on it, and then have that act in place of the snooze button. And the goals of our MVP is to get positive feedback that ensures that our alarm clock is the most efficient way to wake up.
Our market plan is to send out so for the Alamo City mom blogs, maybe get featured in one of their segments and talk about our alarm. We also have an Instagram and Facebook account. These are them there, so if you like to follow them, you may. And then YouTube, because we found that a lot of people already use YouTube, and it's an easy way to get our message across with ads. Imagine waking up with the bright and early alarm clock and being very energetic and happy in the morning.
We were asking for a little under $500 to start building prototypes. $25 for a website, $12.98 for a domain name, $156 for resources, and $160 for $100 for marketing, and $160 for alarm clocks. Our MVP plan is to start buying resources beginning of February so we can start developing and making our product towards middle of February, so then we can start selling our prototypes come beginning of March. Thank you. I hope we can bring some positivity to your morning.
So on the prototypes, you mentioned you're working with an engineer. Is there someone who's during the MVP phase that you guys will be helping you guide you through that process? Have you identified someone yet, or just curious how you guys are looking at that?
We've been speaking to someone.
Yeah, we've been speaking to a guy named Russell that Miss Bartlett gave us the number for. He's a mechanical engineer, and he gave us the idea that if we can buy alarm clocks, cheap alarm clocks, and we can buy our light sensors and put the light sensors through a relay switch, then we can have the light sensors activate as the snooze button. So it would be taking away the snooze button from most alarm clocks. And so,
Any idea? I just want to make sure you guys have someone helping you.
yes, sir.
So he'll
Sir.
help you kind of, okay.
Yes, sir.
In your, when you outlined the $460, I noticed you had alarm clocks and a dollar amount there. Did that include the sensors? Because I didn't see a line for the sensor, or was there, did I miss that?
Let's
Yeah.
go back.
Okay, is that where it was?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Top back.
okay,
So we just did a rough estimate of a certain alarm clock. The picture's on the other slide.
right.
The alarm clock we found, it's about like $7 or $8. And then we estimated if we made 20 prototypes that it would come out to that price.
Okay.
So if we were to buy 20 alarm clocks for that certain one, and then 20, however amount of resources we need to make that alarm clock, those are the estimates that would come out.
So 20 prototypes.
Yes.
And you're going to give those to 20 people and then ask for feedback from those.
Yes.
20 people.
What is the sound? Or, I mean, is there, so there's no sound, I mean, well, there's a sound, obviously, and then you have to get up and turn the light off?
Yes, ma'am.
And how loud is that? And what is it? Is it, can it be anything? Can it be a?
It's like a normal alarm.
Okay,
So,
okay.
So a couple things sort of to build on that. Part of the problem I see with my teenagers is the alarm is going off. They're not actually pushing the snooze button. It's just
Go ahead.
going like crazy. They're just sleeping through it. So you may need to think about how do I make that, the actual alarm itself a little bit different so it gets their attention. The other thing I can think about too is a teenager may cheat by having a lamp right next to their bed, right? Because I want my kids to have a lamp next to their bed so they can read before they go to sleep. But they can also cheat by just rolling over and turning the lamp on or the sunlight coming through.
Or the light on their flashlight.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
iPhone.
So you may want to actually think about, I understand this may not work for your MVP, but the final solution might be something actually at the switch, where it really forces you. You can only turn it off by getting up and walking to the switch. I understand there's the value of getting somebody out of bed is likely going to keep them out of bed or at least wake them up a little bit more.
We did have an idea for our next step, which would be to add in possibly motion sensors to where it still sticks with our UVP of saying you physically have to get out of bed. So not only would you have to turn on your lights, but it would have to activate motion near the alarm clock. But for now, for a basic prototype, we think that doing light sensors to see if it is possible and if it would work.
Yeah, so I totally
Yeah.
understand the MVP, but you may want to be thinking about the longer-term product solution, maybe
Right.
something that you can guarantee that if somebody is trying to turn the alarm off, they have to get out of bed.
So the problem that you're solving, for the most part, is getting teenagers out of bed, right?
Yes, sir.
Which is a minor miracle. But it is a major problem.
It is a problem.
Yeah.
So I can think of a lot of hacks for, I think you're onto a really interesting problem. I can think of a lot, if that were me, all right, first of all, that would have to be plugged in maybe out of reach, because I'm just gonna unplug it or turn a light on or, you know, do something, other than get up and flip a switch. But when I hear a product idea like that, I'm always thinking about how can that be, how can technology, how can this dislocate that? And you might ought to think about, I mean, you've got a lot of power right here, okay? You might think about an app that I put on my phone, the kid put on their phone, mom has the alarm clock on the phone. I set the alarm, but it's going off on yours. And the only, you know, I might say, you gotta come, you know, to my phone, you gotta, you know, wake me up, or you might, there might be other ways
The phone's
to.
gotta register a certain number of
Right,
steps
but
or
mom
something.
has, I mean, my biggest problem is the alarm doesn't go on in the first place, or, you know, there's a lot of things, that don't happen, that you would hope to, but you might ought to think about some ideas on how to use this, and it could be with something, physically, you know, plugged in, but I love the idea.
Yeah.
I really do. And, you may, you know, if you can actually do that for $30, I love that you're thinking about, you know, the simplicity of, you know, buying an existing alarm clock and putting on a light sensor. It's cheap enough to try and see
Yeah.
if you get any traction.
Right.
If you don't, you could always
Then you can
try
go.
something else. You might try both.
I think it's important because, I don't know if you surveyed this, but I'm actually, I would think if you surveyed 100 people, what alarm clock do you use? Probably over 50 now use their iPhone already. And I used to run with Mike in the mornings, and the only way I can get myself to bed was I'd use my iPhone, but then I'd put it on the other side of the room. So I'm kind of doing what you guys are doing, but without
I
the
would
sensor.
love to have had an app where I could wake up
Yeah,
John.
but, so that's kind of a competition too, right? Because a parent may say, why don't you just put this thing there? But trying to figure out, because it is important, I mean, same thing, my kids have a hard time getting out of bed. So trying to convince the parent that this is actually a better solution than just, okay, kid, you gotta put your, because it worked pretty well for me, actually, just walking across, but I know kids.
It's like when you go to, for me, an experience, my mom comes in my brother and I's rooms and turns our lights on. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, it's okay,
Yeah.
get up.
Right.
But it's like, if I actually had to get up and do that, I feel like it would help teenagers especially, because you're getting that movement
Yeah.
and then turning the lights on. Because when my mom turns it on, I'm just kind of like, oh darn, she turned the lights on. So I'm kind of just sitting there in bed,
Sure.
not wanting to get up.
Yeah.
and
Right.
turn my lights on.
I guess my point is, as a parent, I could say, why don't I just have them put their iPhone across the
Yeah.
room, and
Yeah.
that's how they get out of bed. So trying to come up with whether it's there's actually, some guy told me there's this new book on sleep that talks about the importance of light gradually coming into your morning and how that changes your whole day. So even if you can find some research, so no, this is the right way to do it versus just, you know, where it has to do with light, and I don't know, that might be interesting.
Yeah, because you guys talked about, in the beginning, it was like, you know, would it be, you know, you make it look like it's all, you're gonna wake up and feel all energetic, but these kids, you know, if that's who you're really going for, I don't know that, I mean, I know that I do that to my son, Bergen, I turn the light on, and he just goes, turn the light, you know, because it's, so maybe to your point, right, it's more of a gradual, you know, maybe it's the light starts to kind of help them wake up, because that, just that harsh, that's, I know that doesn't put my son in a good mood when I do that, to your point, right? But again, maybe it's a gradual, and maybe, again, the sound gets louder and louder, or something that just kind of helps them not just so harsh. Because I think that I like better than, you know, and getting up, right? But, because once it gets, you know, bright enough and it gets loud enough, they're gonna have to get up. You may think about more of a gradual versus that harsh cutoff, because then they're gonna go around it, I think, and try to do other things, but, you know, make it music, I don't know.
Y'all are sneakier than you give yourselves credit.
But, yeah, I mean, but the concept is fantastic, if you could figure it out as a parent.
Yeah.
It would be.
We would love to benefit us and to benefit everyone
Yeah,
else.
absolutely,
Yeah.
but,
The cost of goods sold looked low to me, but like I said, alarm clocks have gotten really cheap
Yeah.
and a light sensor's cheap. So if you can actually get, I'm not sure you had labor cost in there. And so to have people take apart the one that you bought cheaply, put it in, wire it up, that's probably where you're gonna, start
The
to
bump up
increase
price.
things.
Yeah.
And I'd really look at this book because I do think an angle on this, because parents are always loving this stuff, health for their kids. And this book is really, they've done a ton of research on sleep now. I mean, we went through hundreds of years not knowing why we slept. And now they're starting to figure it out, So I would maybe just look at that to get some ideas how you can position it this is good for your kids, and parents love that stuff.
Yeah.
They'll spend
Yeah.
everything on that. Okay,
Perfect.
cool, thank
Well
you.
done, guys.
Great job.
Thank you.